Welcome to the Ljubljana podcast, the place to come for travel and food tips, cultural highlights, insider stories, and chats with locals. It's everything you need to know about Slovenia's beloved capital city. I'm your host, Slovenia's ambassador of tourism, Noah Charney. Let's fire it up. Here in Ljubljana, mixology has gone from a niche interest to a full-blown movement. Whether you're a seasoned spirits connoisseur or just someone who loves a good Negroni in the right setting, Ljubljana has a bar stool waiting for you. So what's been shaking, literally, in Slovenia's capital? Let's dive in. Let's start with one of the city's most spirited events, the Brina Festival. Brina is Slovenia's leading cocktail and spirits festival, and it's become the annual rendezvous for bartenders, bar owners, distillers, and curious drinkers alike. Imagine tasting rare Slovenian gins, sipping cocktails crafted by internationally acclaimed bartenders, and discovering foraged local ingredients you didn't know could be turned into bitters. Brina isn't just a festival, it's a statement. Ljubljana takes its drinks seriously, but with style and soul. Brina means juniper berry, and it began as a gin-specific event, but has since expanded to mixology more generally, and it's gotten hugely popular. And just your luck, this year's event, 2025, is the day after this episode drops, September 21st, in the courtyard of the Križanke Summer Theatre. To learn more about it, I spoke to Lior Kochavi. Lior is an expat and the founder of Odprta Kuhna, Ljubljana's most popular food festival, which runs every Friday from June through October. To begin with, tell me how you came up with the idea of the Brina Festival. How did it evolve from Odprta Kuhna?
It's towards the end of 2017 and during the year of 2018, we noticed that there is a big increase in it was a hype around gin and gin tonics mainly. So the idea was to create a gin festival. We started to notice a lot of small distilleries that are popping up in Slovenia. Many of them were focusing on gin. And this is how Brina Festival came to life, to make like type of a gin tonic event. That's the origin of the name. Yeah, Brina, juniper berries, Brin. So it started back then in 2019. It was quite a great success. I mean, it was the first event of its kind in Slovenia. We got a lot of visitors, few thousands of visitors. And then in 2020, we all know, the beautiful time for humanity with COVID. So during this year, 2020 and 2021, we were not able to have the event. And 2022 was the year that Brina actually happened for the second time. Unfortunately, by that time, gin and gin tonic kind of lost its hype, and the event was not to our satisfaction. It was nice, but not enough visitors, definitely not enough hype. And then the idea came of, okay, why to limit it right now to only to gin? Let's broaden up, let's look on the whole range of spirits, and of course, immediately develop the idea of, okay, we are going for a cocktail and mixology festival. Like this, we could broaden the diversity of drinks, definitely. But more important than that, the flavors. So you can play on bitter, on sour, on sweet, on the combination of all of them, into spicy, everything. So we immediately understood, okay, this is going to rock it. And it did. Yeah, and today I can say that it's definitely the biggest one of its kind in Slovenia and in this part.
What's the format? What can we expect if we go there? You go in the door, and then how do you go about tasting the different cocktails and how many different things are on offer?
So first of all, it's open for public. It's a free entry festival, and everybody are welcome. At the entrance to the festival, you deposit €5, and you receive the glass. At the end of the festival, you can give back the glass and get the €5 back. And then you just scroll around between amazing 16 stands, that each one of them is going to represent different style and different selection of cocktails. Some of them are from the leading cocktail bars in town, or in general in Slovenia. We have even some cocktail bars from Maribor and from all around Slovenia. To distillers who distill their drinks in Slovenia, and to importers who bring a bit more of unique and more high-end kind of spirits. People will be able to scroll around, to walk from stand to stand, and choose their favorite cocktail. They will give the glass that they took at the entrance to the stand to the person over there, and they will get their cocktail and they can continue the festival. And even we took care of the food part. So we're going to have a special collaboration between two amazing chefs. One of them is Jacob Pintar from Tabar, and he will do a four-hand pop-up at Brina with Luca Koshir from Grich, one Michelin restaurant. So it is also that part is taken care of. Amazing music, live bands, and a great atmosphere.
Now, if you're not lucky enough to be in Ljubljana exactly during the Brina festival, where would you send enthusiastic visitors who like a good cocktail?
The first, I would say that great cocktails you can find right now in Ljubljana, not only in cocktail bars, which is very important. This is, I think, part of the evolution, of the revolution that we spoke about, because now you can find amazing cocktails in simply good restaurants, from Pop's Aperitivo to Giorgi and Tabar and all of these kind of places that their main core business is food. Usually you would see wine card goes with their in their kitchens. Sorry, in the bar that goes along with their food. But now all of them have amazing list of cocktails. So this is, for example, some of the places I would recommend to try the cocktail list. But if we're looking strictly on cocktail bars in town right now, definitely I would say that the top three, and not necessarily in this order, is Colibri in the city center, Vert, which I like a lot because also not only because of the great cocktail list, but because sitting outside a bit in the sun, very easy place, very chill and hanging out. And the new trend in town, of course, Silk and Fizz, two young and amazing guys that dedicated their life to taking mixology to the next level. And I think all three places brings a lot of
It elevates the scene.
Elevates the scene in the city and deserve a lot of compliments for what they did. Yeah, in respect.
Now on to the bars themselves. If you ask a local where to begin your night, you might be pointed to Silk and Fizz. Tucked into the lively old town, it's a sleek, intimate spot where the drinks are as elegant as the decor. Expect crystal clear ice, precise pours, and staff who know their chartreuse from their Cynar. The menu changes often, but always features clever twists on classics and a reverence for detail. Whether you're sipping a clarified pina colada or a slow-stirred Vesper, Silk and Fizz is where craft meets calm. Just around the bend, there's Pop's Place Aperitivo, the younger, sassier cousin to Pop's Burgers. Think Aperol meets attitude. With a menu curated for golden hour sipping, it's the perfect place for pre-dinner drinks that flirt with Italian tradition, spritzes, amaros, and Negronis done right. The terrace offers prime people watching along the Ljubljanica River, and the bartenders bring just enough flair to make each pour feel like theater. Now, if you want something truly unique, you'll need to head over to Moderna Bar, hidden inside the Museum of Modern Art. Yes, you heard that right. Ljubljana's best coffee liquor isn't on a shelf in a bar, but it's made in-house here. Moderna crafts their own rich, aromatic coffee liqueur that anchors several of their cocktails. Whether you're sipping it neat or in a modernist riff on the espresso martini, it's an artful experience in every sense. Another can't miss is Colibri Bar, where every drink feels like it should be framed and hung on the wall. The atmosphere is moody, velvet-lined, cinematic. The cocktails are playful, poetic, and sometimes even come with a short story. This is the kind of place where you might get a cocktail smoked under a bell jar, infused with local herbs, or balanced with vinegar for acidity. It's where Ljubljana's cocktail imagination runs wild and is rewarded. What are you doing this Friday? Because if you're anywhere near Ljubljana, there's only one right answer. Otprta kuchna, open kitchen. Every Friday from late morning until late in the evening, Pogačar Square transforms into the tastiest place in town. Over 20,000 food lovers gather to sample sizzling street food from Slovenia's best chefs, sip craft cocktails and local wines, and dance their way into the weekend under the open sky. From Korean barbecue to Balkan classics, vegan delights to wood-fired pizza, it's a global street food party Slovenian style. It's been featured in The Guardian and beyond as a unique food fest where social life meets eats. Come hungry, come curious, and bring your friends. Odprta kuchna, Fridays June through October at Pogačarjev Trg, Pogačar Square, where Ljubljana goes to eat, drink, and celebrate. Now let's talk about the people behind the scenes, the visionaries, the shakers, the ice carvers. Leading the charge in Ljubljana's mixology renaissance is Rok Dobnikar, known for his innovation and precision, and his work at Kolibri that helped set the bar, pun intended, for cocktail craftsmanship in Slovenia. Another name to know, Uroš Perić, a fixture of the local scene and a regular at Brina festival stages, whose experimental takes on local ingredients and love of Slovenian gin has earned him international recognition. We already mentioned Silk and Fizz, and it's not just a cocktail bar, it's a love letter to precision, elegance, and pure mixology magic. And at the heart of it all are Gal and Jan, the dynamic duo behind the bar. Friends turned business partners, they've combined deep industry know-how with an obsession for quality, down to the last hand-cut ice cube. Gal brings a refined palate and creative flair, while Jan's meticulous technique and quiet charisma anchor the experience. Together they built a bar that's become a benchmark, not just in Ljubljana, but across the region. Then there's Tina Pirnat, one of the standout female bartenders in a still male-dominated field, who has brought her talent and elegance to multiple venues around the city. Her focus on balance, sustainability, and sensory experience makes her drinks as thoughtful as they are delicious. To learn more, I spoke to Dominik Gobec, who is one of the people to know on the scene. Dominik, tell me a little bit about the Brina Festival and mixology in Ljubljana.
Brina Festival is something that I started working with Lior on about 2-3 years ago. We do this because we want to elevate the mixology scene in Ljubljana. It was before a festival dedicated to gin, but we came together with an idea that the scene in Ljubljana is developing so much, and me and some of my colleagues worked on cocktails and to approach them to people for the past 10 years. But we noticed a significant change about 3-4 years ago. And we said we're gonna start with something that is very drinkable, very approachable, easygoing, and introduce these type of drinks and cocktails through Brina Festival. And we also opened this stand, which is going really well, and I think a lot of people start to love the brand. And the festival is dedicated to a night that brings all people together, and where they can visit a lot of stands and drink different cocktails and really get to love the cocktails, not just beer and wine and everything. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the evolution of mixology in Ljubljana. Take me back to when it started, and what are some of the places in Ljubljana for tourists to try out cocktails that you'd recommend?
The mixology scene in Ljubljana was very, I would say, underground for the past few years. Before, it was just me and a few guys that were doing cocktails in the cellars, I would say, and trying to approach it to some regulars. But nowadays, we have a few bars that I would like to name, and on, I would say, international level, at least with their knowledge, not exactly with the offer yet, because we're still trying to approach these two people. But definitely leading would be Silk and Fizz. It's one of the bars that is really internationally not known yet, but I know their work, and it goes among the best. It's also Vrt, which is one of the bars that has a slightly different philosophy. And on Vrt, we do drinks that you can repeat very often. It's more of a venue place than not just a cocktail bar. So we want to give you drinks you can enjoy and still talk to people, listen to the music, enjoying the ambient, but repeat that drink once, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, as much as you want. And they're still quite complex, but not too complex, which you would need to think when we serve drinks, we don't come there and start explain what it is. We want your reaction to be, this is good, and then you resume the conversation with your partner at the table. Also, bars that are really known is Colibri bar in Ljubljana. It's one of the oldest, if not the first bar in Ljubljana that started that speakeasy concept. I think they're doing really well. They're more dedicated towards like that baroque style of drinks and maybe prohibition and speakeasy, but they're getting their place more open now because they realized speakeasy is not that popular at the moment anymore, because people want to be seen when they drink cocktails. They want to have louder music. They want to chat louder. It's not about hiding somewhere. It's cocktail is becoming like a lifestyle for somebody, so they want to be seen.
Is there a Ljubljana cocktail? I was just in Zagreb, and there was a Zagreb mule that they came up with. It was really good, that they were essentially trying to invent a Zagreb cocktail that didn't exist historically. Is there one that was historically associated with Ljubljana, or has someone come up with one?
On Brina Festival, we're trying to have a Brina cocktail every year. So 2 years ago, it was based on strawberries. Last year, it was based on peach, and this year it's based on elderflower, because it's in season from like mid of May till end of June. So we picked this ingredient to be the highlight of the festival. So each of the stands need to make a drink based on this ingredient. And I think Brina cocktail will eventually become a cocktail of Ljubljana, I would say, because still the Brina is the biggest festival mixology in Slovenia, biggest and the only one. But its Brina cocktail is something that Gourmet Ljubljana and Visit Ljubljana stimulate a lot. So we create something that is made from ingredient from here, and it's known by Slovenian people and it's close to them. So this year we picked elderflower because I think it's like the ingredient that perfectly blends the urban style with something that you can see elderflower in urban cities too, in parks or Tivoli Park and stuff like that. But it's also very known for countryside, and it's luscious, but at the same time it's very down to earth ingredient. So brings nostalgia, which we like, and that's why we picked elderflower for this year.
If you're interested in learning even more about Slovenia, you might listen to our other 2 Slovenia podcasts. Award-winning Feel Slovenia is the official podcast of the Slovenian Tourist Board, and it covers tourism for the whole country. The Bled podcast is brought to you by the Bled Tourist Board, and as the name implies, brings you all you need to know about Lake Bled and its surroundings. Both are available for free wherever you get your podcasts. Together, these bartenders and many more are making Ljubljana a name in European cocktail culture. They're redefining what a Slovenian cocktail even means, often incorporating native herbs, wines, honeys, and even fermented ingredients into their creations. So next time you find yourself wandering Ljubljana's cobbled streets and riverfront promenades, don't just look up at the Baroque balconies and dragon sculptures. Look into the bars. Behind every counter, there's a story being poured of innovation, artistry, and a love for what Slovenia tastes like in a glass. From bespoke Negronis to coffee liqueur made under museum lights, Ljubljana's cocktail culture is not just catching up with Europe's capitals. It's quietly leading the pack in creativity and character. I might even see you at the Brina Festival, so if you see me, please say hi. Until next time, wherever you are, cheers, na zdravje, and happy sipping. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Ljubljana Podcast. The Ljubljana Podcast is brought to you by Odprta Kuhna, the food festival that rocks Ljubljana's central market every Friday, all day and night long, from June through October. This podcast is produced by Urshka Charney and hosted by Noah Charney. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.